Hey, welcome back. We're going to get real about the topic of aging. We have Jamie Gay with us. Jamie, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Well,
Good.
we're good. And now we want our older friends out there that are watching to be more active, socially and mentally. We're looking for that physically and also being safe. Now, there's an event coming up in Columbia, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association, and you are the Alzheimer's Association.
I am the Alzheimer's Association.
Yes, right here.
Yeah, so we're having our State House Day, which we're going to get a bunch of people across the state and head to Columbia, and we are going to talk to our representatives and let them know that we need to keep Alzheimer's and dementia at the forefront of their minds and keep it a focus and a priority here in South Carolina.
And wear purple.
And wear purple, most
color.
definitely, even though I'm not wearing it today.
You got it in there in your fingers.
Little bit.
You got it here and there. Why is it important to do something like that, to keep it in the forefront with those that make decisions in South Carolina?
Correct. Well, so the biggest thing is just so that we have, good policies in place, good campaigns so that people can, have early detection, so that we know the signs, so that we know that there are things that we can do to help reduce our risk of getting Alzheimer's and dementia. But if we just keep our head in the sand and not realize all the wonderful resources that we have here in South Carolina, then it's just not going to do anyone any good.
Are there some statewide statistics you can share with us?
Yes, so there's about 93,000 South Carolinians with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Just in South Carolina?
Just in South Carolina.
Oh my goodness.
And I think I just did something, there was over 7,500 here just in Greenville. And I know that's way more than that because there's so many families that get diagnosed or feel that there's an issue going on and then they don't, share it with the family or tell other people.
Well, this is one of those, of course, anytime you have a disease of some sort, a lot of people are affected, but this is one, I mean, it really touches the whole family and all the caregivers.
It does.
It's a lot of work.
Well, you mentioned caregiver. That's a tough role.
It is, and it's a thankless role, and it's often done in silence, and the caregivers often suffer, which part of State House Day we will be doing, asking them to keep the funding for the respite voucher to continue to be available here in South Carolina to give that caregiver a break.
Is there a meeting place in Columbia? Can we just openly invite people to meet us somewhere?
So they would need to pre-register because there's a whole wonderful thing, and then they get us connected with each of our, representatives for our district so that we can talk with them and, encourage them to, focus on Alzheimer's and dementia so that we could just, again, keep the word in everyone's mind and in their vocabulary and not to be ashamed of it and to seek out the help that they need.
Are y'all taking a bus there? Do you have to provide your own transportation? What's
when they go on our website to register, there are some people who are carpooling. I am either renting a minivan or 14-passenger van. So
who's driving that? And who's going to be driving that?
For those who want to take a risk, I will be driving the big old bus to Columbia, but they would need to really contact us as soon as possible. I think the deadline for the registration for the State House Day is the 26th of this month.
That's what you got right
so
here.
that is coming up, and then the actual day is on March the 4th.
Yes.
It'll be in Columbia. Wear your purple, and this is just really good. One, if you've ever had anyone that you know that's had this disease, you're like, gosh, what can I do to maybe help out or give back? This would be a great
would be a great opportunity for people
and there's
to
some
do that.
camaraderie too that can develop between caregivers.
Oh, most definitely. I have a few ladies who they call themselves the A-team, and they have keychains made, and they have they go on trips together. They're planning a Hilton Head trip together right now, actually. So
I love it.
It's getting those connections.
Sometimes it helps if you're going through something hard to know that there's other people going through it with you.
Most definitely.
And you have a support system. So
exactly. Yeah, and we're starting another group for people who are in the early stages of dementia. So it's for the people with dementia or cognitive impairment. So that's something new here going on in Greenville, and I'm really excited to be able to offer that.
You'll have to come back and tell us about that another day, girl. I love it. There's all the information on your screen. Go to that website and learn more and circle March 4th on your calendar. Thanks, Jamie.
You're welcome. Thanks,
Jamie.
In today's Living Upstate segment, we are here in the Woodside community of Greenville at the Woodside Bistro. It's a restaurant that's serving up amazing food, but it's also important that they're serving up a sense of community. I want to find out more about that, so I'm going to go inside and meet the owners, Austin and Ken. Let's go. So tell me about the first moments when you decided to do Woodside Bistro with Ken.
Ken and I, we've always known that we were a good pair, which is great because I trained under him actually. He's my senior.
It was just me and him with the idea, and just seeing it, come to fruition is just, amazing. It's amazing.
It was great. It was a crazy conversation, but
yeah, were you reluctant at first? Because a lot of people in this area, a lot of businesses are like, I'm not so sure about it yet. And they'll let it develop a little bit more first. Being the first one to do that, that's always an interesting decision to make.
And honestly, somebody had to be first. So I'm glad it was us. Because we've been sticking it out. It's been a lot of hard work, but. I feel like once people see what's going on and, the word gets around that there is valuable community members here, other businesses are gonna follow.
we wanted to bridge the gap from Swamp Rabbit Grocery to Pendleton Street. There's nothing going on here. There's some businesses around here, but there's no restaurants or anything like that. There's no commerce. And we wanted to be the first, honestly. We wanted to take that on.
Well, definitely wanted to be a part of that whole transition. Everything's starting to migrate this way. There's going to be a lot more businesses opening up. And wanted to be, one of the first businesses in this community and try to embrace the community instead of pushing everybody out of it.
We see these pictures on the wall here. These are people that worked here in this community for the Woodside and the Mills. How important was it for you guys to have something like this in the restaurant that showed the faces of the people that, if this were a lunch counter back then, they would be here?
Yeah, my grandfather grew up at Woodside Mill. For me, coming together like this is really cool to see. I have a lot of history on this street in general, so I didn't imagine that I would end up here, but full circle being here, it feels like it's very fitting.
So everybody used to come here, get their lunch, and then go back to the mill and work.
It's important for you to not only just be a restaurant that opens, but a restaurant that's approachable to the people that live in that community.
Yeah, for sure. We want our neighbors to the mayor. That's the clientele we want. We want to appease everybody. We very much preach communities.
We catered our menu to the area. We've got a fried catfish and we've got chicken wings, but we've got a vegan bowl too. We're also trying to promote healthier eating as well.
List some of the other things that are on the menu that you guys do to kind of
So we're kind of famous for a French dip sandwich. It's a beef short rib that braise it for about 4 to 5 hours. And then it comes on a hoagie roll with A1 aioli, caramelized onions, and Havarti cheese. Yeah, that's it. You're not gonna leave hungry if you get that sandwich.
You guys are doing some dinner service too, and even doing some special events that kind of let you guys as chefs play around and do wine dinners and pairings.
That's really exciting. We just started opening up for dinner, and so kind of expanded the menu. So we get to eat. We're doing a salmon, we're doing a beef tenderloin, we're doing a grilled pork chop. So we're using local ingredients, so it's kind of nice for me and Austin to play in the kitchen again, get those fires going again, get that juice going.
Yeah, so we can give $10 and people can just come in and grab one of those cards.
Yeah, our customers have been really great. They're the ones that really provide us the opportunity to do that. So they donate $10 and we put it on the board, and if somebody needs a meal, they could come and get it for free.
I'm sure you run into customers all the time where that may be the only hot meal they get.
For sure. And some of those people we know by name, and they're living in a tent by the river. I mean, that's quite honestly the situation that they're in. We're blessed to have that from our customers. Our customers are one that funds that board, and they're very generous. We appreciate that. So they fund it, we cook it, and then hopefully it helps out somebody.
So you guys are open for lunch and dinner. People can come down and check you out. If they want to fund some of those meals as well, they can do that. You're on Woodside Avenue in Greenville, so Woodside Bistro, you can see the sign out front, and we'll be sure to put more information for you at our website. Austin, thank you guys so much for having us in. We appreciate it.
For sure. Great to see you, man.
Good to see you.